My boyfriend gave me an STD, then blamed me for cheating when I've been faithful our entire relationship to expose his affair partner who unknowingly gave it to him. My name is Morgan and I'm 28 years old. I thought I knew everything about my life. I thought I had it all figured out. Turns out I didn't know anything at all. It started 3 weeks ago when I went in for what I thought was a routine checkup. I'd been feeling off for a while. Nothing major, just some discomfort that I kept brushing off because I was busy with work and life and everything else. My doctor ran some tests and told me to come back in a week for the results. I didn't think much of it. I've been with my boyfriend Marcus for 4 years. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party and hit it off immediately. He's a software engineer, tall, handsome, the kind of guy who opens doors and remembers anniversaries. We moved in together after 2 years, talked about marriage. I even started looking at engagement rings online just to get ideas. So when my doctor called me back into her office and closed the door behind her, I wasn't prepared for what came next. She sat down across from me with that look. You know, the one where medical professionals try to keep their face neutral, but their eyes give everything away. Morgan, your test results came back positive for chlamydia. I stared at her. The words didn't make sense. They felt like they were in a different language. That's not possible, I said. I've only been with Marcus for 4 years. She gave me this sympathetic smile. I understand this is difficult to hear, but the test doesn't lie. You'll need to inform your partner so he can get treated as well. I drove home in a daze. My hands were shaking on the steering wheel. I kept replaying every moment of the past 4 years in my head. Every late night, every business trip, every time Marcus said he was going to the gym or meeting up with his college buddy Derek. When I got home, Marcus was in the living room playing video games. Some first-person shooter thing he was obsessed with. He didn't even look up when I walked in. Hey babe, he said, eyes glued to the screen. There's leftover pizza in the fridge if you're hungry. I stood there watching him. This person I thought I knew. This person I'd built a life with. Marcus, we need to talk. He paused his game and turned around. What's up? You look upset. I went to the doctor today, I said. My voice was surprisingly steady. I tested positive for chlamydia. The color drained from his face for exactly 3 seconds. Then his expression changed completely. His jaw clenched. His eyes narrowed. What the hell, Morgan? I need you to get tested too. I continued. The doctor said, who is he? Marcus stood up, his voice getting louder. Who the hell have you been sleeping with? I felt like I'd been slapped. What, Marcus? I haven't been with anyone else. You're the only person I've been with for 4 years. Oh, so this just magically appeared? He was pacing now, his hands clenched into fists. You're seriously going to stand there and lie to my face? I'm not lying. I've been faithful to you this entire time. He laughed. Actually laughed. It was this harsh, bitter sound that I'd never heard from him before. Faithful? You're calling me from wherever you've been sneaking around, probably with some coworker, and now you're trying to blame me. I felt tears starting to form, but I blinked them back. Marcus, I haven't been with anyone else, which means you don't even finish that sentence. He cut me off. I can't believe you're trying to flip this around on me. I've been nothing but loyal to you. I work my tail off to help pay for this apartment. I've introduced you to my family. I've been planning our future together, and this is how you repay me. The thing about gaslighting is that when it's happening, you don't always recognize it. You start questioning your own reality, your own memory, your own sanity. But I knew I hadn't been with anyone else, which meant there was only one other explanation. Get tested, I said quietly. If you have nothing to hide, just get tested. I'm not getting tested for something you brought into this relationship. He said, you know what? I need space. I'm going to Derek's place for a few days. Maybe you can use that time to think about what you've done. He grabbed his keys and wallet and walked out. Didn't even pack a bag. Just left me standing there in our living room. I spent that entire night crying on the couch. Then I got angry. Really angry, because I knew the truth. I knew I hadn't cheated, which meant Marcus had, and now he was trying to make me feel like the guilty one. The next morning I called my best friend Rachel. She's been my ride or die since college. The kind of friend who will help you move a body if you need it. That absolute piece of garbage, she said when I finished telling her everything. Morgan, you need to get proof. You need to find out who he's been seeing. How? He took his phone with him. I don't have access to his email or anything. What about his laptop? Does he leave that at home? I looked at the desk in our bedroom. Marcus' laptop was sitting there closed. Yeah, he does. Good. I'm coming over. Rachel showed up 30 minutes later with coffee and determination. She works in IT, so she knows her way around computers. Do you know his password? She asked. He uses the same one for everything. His mom's maiden name and his birth year. It took us less than 5 minutes to get into his laptop. And what we found made my stomach turn. His email was full of messages, not just recent ones. Going back almost 2 years. Her name was Kayla. The messages started casual. They worked together at his company. She was in the marketing department. At first, it was just friendly stuff about projects and deadlines. Then it got flirtier. Then it crossed every line imaginable. There were photos, messages about meeting up during lunch breaks, complaints about their respective partners, plans for weekend getaways disguised as business trips. Oh my God, Rachel whispered, scrolling through the emails. Morgan, I'm so sorry. I felt numb, like my body had just stopped processing emotions because it was too overwhelming. There's more. Rachel said she'd opened his deleted messages folder. Look at this. It was from 3 months ago. Kayla had sent him a message saying she'd been to the doctor, that she'd tested positive for chlamydia, that she'd probably gotten it from her ex-boyfriend, who she'd briefly gotten back together with after a fight with her current boyfriend. And Marcus's response, we need to be more careful. I'll get treated quietly. Don't worry about it. He knew. He knew 3 months ago and he still didn't tell me. He still kept sleeping with me. And then when I found out, he blamed me for it. I took screenshots of everything. Every email, every message, every photo. I sent them all to my own email address. What are you going to do? Rachel asked. I don't know yet, but he's not going to get away with this. Marcus came back 2 days later. He acted like nothing had happened. Walked in, put his keys on the counter and asked what was for dinner. We need to talk, I said. He sighed. Look, Morgan, I've been thinking. Maybe we can work through this, but you need to be honest with me about who you've been seeing. We can't move forward if you're not truthful. The audacity almost made me laugh. Almost. I haven't been seeing anyone, Marcus. But I know about Kayla. His face went white. What Kayla? From your work. The one you've been sleeping with for almost 2 years. The one who gave you chlamydia that you then gave to me. The one you knew about 3 months ago and said nothing. I don't know what you're talking about. I pulled out my phone and showed him the screenshots. Watched his face cycle through shock, anger, and finally resignation. Where did you get those? Your laptop, the one you left here with the password I've known for years. He sat down heavily on the couch. Morgan, I can explain. Don't. Just don't. I don't want to hear your excuses. It didn't mean anything. He said anyway. It was a mistake. A stupid mistake that got out of hand. I was going to end it. I was going to tell you. You blamed me for cheating. You made me feel crazy. You acted like I was the one who ruined everything. I panicked. I didn't know what else to do. I looked at this man I'd spent 4 years with, this man I'd planned a future with, and I felt nothing but disgust. I want you out tonight, Morgan. Please, we can work through this. I love you. You don't love me. You love having me as your safety net while you do whatever you want. Get out. He tried to argue. Tried to convince me to give him another chance, but I was done. Completely done. It took him 3 hours to pack his stuff. I watched him load box after box into his car. He kept looking back at me like he expected me to change my mind, but I just stood there with my arms crossed until he drove away. That should have been the end of it. Marcus was out of my life. I could move on, start healing, but I couldn't stop thinking about Kayla. He had a boyfriend. According to the emails, she'd been with him for 5 years. His name was Brandon. They were actually engaged and she had no idea that I existed. That Marcus had a girlfriend the entire time they were together. The emails made it clear that Marcus had lied to her. Told her that he and I had broken up months ago, that we were just roommates finishing out a lease. Kayla thought she was dating a single guy. Meanwhile, I had no idea Marcus was even interested in anyone else. He'd been so careful, so calculated about keeping us separate. You should tell her, Rachel said when I called her that night. She deserves to know. I don't even know her. So she's living a lie just like you were. Her fiancé deserves to know too. Rachel was right. But the thought of reaching out to Kayla felt weird. What was I supposed to say? Hey, we've been sleeping with the same guy for 2 years. Surprise. I spent a week debating it. During that time, I started the treatment for the infection. Got tested again to make sure it was clearing up. Packed up the last of Marcus' stuff that he'd left behind and dropped it at his mother's house. His mom tried to talk to me. Said Marcus told her we'd had a fight but wouldn't explain why. I didn't give her details. Just said we were done and left, but I kept coming back to Kayla. To the fact that she was still with Marcus as far as I knew, still planning a wedding with Brandon while secretly seeing someone else. Except she wasn't really seeing Marcus anymore because he'd moved back home with his parents. Or had he? I checked social media. Kayla's profile was public. She posted a lot of photos. Her and Brandon looked happy. They just gotten back from a trip to Colorado. She posted pictures of mountains and hiking trails and the two of them wrapped in sweaters looking at some scenic overlook. But there were older photos too from before. Group shots from work events. And there, in the background of one photo from 8 months ago, was Marcus standing near Kayla but not too close. Nothing that would raise suspicion. They'd been so careful. I made a fake Instagram account, found Kayla's profile again, sent her a direct message. Hi, you don't know me but I need to talk to you about Marcus from your work. It's important. I didn't expect her to respond. It was a shot in the dark from a blank profile with no posts and no followers. But 20 minutes later my phone buzzed. Who is this? How do you know Marcus? My hands were shaking as I typed back. I'm his girlfriend, or I was for 4 years. I just found out about you last week. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. That's not possible. Marcus is single. He told me he broke up with his ex months ago. I lived with him until last week. We were together the entire time he was seeing you. You're lying. Why would you lie about this? I sent her screenshots. Not all of them, just enough to prove I was telling the truth. Messages between Marcus and me from recent months. Photos of us together. Our lease agreement showing both our names. The 3 dots appeared and disappeared for almost 5 minutes. Finally. Oh my God. I'm sorry. I typed. I know this is a lot, but I thought you should know. I've been with him for almost 2 years. He told me. He said he wanted to be with me, that he was going to propose after he got his life sorted out. He told me the same things. I thought we were planning a future together. I have a boyfriend, a fiancé. We're getting married next summer. I know. Marcus gave me chlamydia. He got it from you. Did you know about that? Another long pause. I got it from my ex. I told Marcus about it. He said it was fine and he'd get treated. Wait, he gave it to you and then blamed me for cheating. Told me I was lying. Made me feel crazy. That piece of garbage. We messaged back and forth for over an hour, compared stories, filled in the gaps. The picture that emerged was worse than I'd thought. Marcus hadn't just been seeing both of us. He'd been playing us against each other without either of us knowing, telling Kayla that his ex was crazy and kept trying to get back together with him, telling me that work was stressful and he needed space sometimes. He'd used his friendship with Derek as an excuse constantly. Told me he was crashing at Derek's place when he was actually with Kayla. Told Kayla he had family obligations when he was with me. It was like he'd been living 2 completely separate lives. I need to tell Brandon. Kayla wrote. He deserves to know. Are you going to? I don't know. I don't know how to even start that conversation. We're supposed to get married. Everyone we know is excited. We've already put deposits down on venues. That's not a reason to lie to him. I know. You're right. God, this is such a mess. I felt bad for her, which was weird because part of me wanted to hate her. She'd been sleeping with my boyfriend for 2 years, but she hadn't known about me. She'd been lied to just as much as I had. What are you going to do about Marcus? She asked. Nothing. He's out of my life. That's enough for me. He needs to face consequences. He can't just do this to people and walk away. What do you want me to do? Post about it on social media? Tell everyone we know? That just makes me look bitter. No, but there has to be something. We ended the conversation without any real plan. Just 2 women who'd been betrayed by the same man trying to figure out what came next. I thought that would be it. That Kayla would tell Brandon or not tell Brandon. And either way, it wasn't my problem anymore. But 2 days later she messaged me again. I told Brandon everything. He broke up with me, called off the wedding. I don't blame him. I wouldn't want to marry me either after this. I'm sorry. Don't be. I did this to myself. I knew Marcus had been in a serious relationship recently. I just believed him when he said it was over. I wanted to believe him. What about Marcus? Have you talked to him? He keeps calling me, texting me, saying we can still be together now. That everything's out in the open. Like this is some romantic comedy where we ride off into the sunset together. Are you going to? Are you serious? No. Absolutely not. He lied to both of us for 2 years. He gave us both an STD. He's a complete sociopath. Good. Don't let him manipulate you. I want to get back at him. I want him to hurt the way he hurt us. Kayla, revenge isn't. Hear me out. What if we both showed up at his work, confronted him in front of everyone? Let his coworkers know exactly what kind of person he is. The idea was tempting. Really tempting. But it also seemed messy and dramatic. I don't think that's a good idea. Fine. What if we just let his mom know? His family. They should know what he did. I dropped his stuff at his mom's house last week. I didn't tell her why we broke up, but I think she suspects something. We should tell her the truth. Tell his whole family. I thought about it. Marcus came from this big, close-knit family. His parents had been married for 35 years. His siblings were all in stable relationships. They had this image of Marcus as the golden boy, the successful son with the great job and the sweet girlfriend. Did they deserve to know the truth, or would it just cause more pain? Let me think about it, I told Kayla. But before I could make a decision, something else happened. Marcus showed up at my apartment. It was late, almost 11 at night. I was already in bed, scrolling through my phone when I heard knocking. Aggressive knocking. I looked through the peephole. Marcus was standing there looking disheveled. His hair was messy. He wasn't wearing a jacket even though it was cold outside. Morgan, open up. I need to talk to you. Go away, Marcus. Please just give me 5 minutes. I need to explain. There's nothing to explain. We're done. You talked to Kayla, she told me. Why would you do that? Because she deserved to know the truth. You ruined everything. She broke up with me. Her fiancé called off their wedding. Her whole life is falling apart because of you. I opened the door just wide enough to look at him. No, her life is falling apart because of you. You're the one who lied to both of us. You're the one who cheated. It wasn't cheating. What Kayla and I had was real. What you and I had was just, it was comfortable routine. I stayed with you because it was easy. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Not because they hurt, but because of how casually he said them. Like our entire relationship had meant nothing. Get away from my door, Morgan. Please. I made mistakes, but I can fix this. We can start over. Just the two of us. Forget about Kayla. Forget about everything that happened. You gave me an STD and blamed me for it. You lied to me for 2 years. You made me question my own sanity, and now you're standing at my door asking me to take you back. I panicked. I was scared of losing you. You already lost me. The moment you decided to cheat, the moment you decided to lie, the moment you decided I was worth so little that you'd risk my health and blame me for your mistakes. That's not fair. Life's not fair, Marcus. Now leave before I call the police. He stood there for another moment, his face cycling through emotions. Then he turned and walked away. I locked the door, triple-checked it. Then I texted Kayla. Marcus just showed up at my apartment. He's losing it. He came to my place earlier, tried to get me to talk to him. I threatened to call the cops too. He's unhinged. We need to do something. I'm serious, Morgan. He's not going to just go away. He was right. Marcus was escalating, and if we didn't do something, this was going to keep getting worse. I typed. What did you have in mind? Kayla and I met at a coffee shop the next day. It was weird finally seeing her in person. She looked younger than I expected. Pretty in this effortless way that made me understand why Marcus had been attracted to her. We sat across from each other, both nursing lattes neither of us really wanted. So she said, I've been thinking about this all night and I have an idea. I'm listening. What if we let everyone know what he did? Not just his family, but his work, his friends, everyone. How she pulled out her phone and showed me a document. It was detailed, organized, a complete timeline of Marcus' lies with screenshots and evidence to back everything up. I've been compiling this. Every message, every lie, every time he told one of us something that contradicted what he told the other. It's all here. What are you going to do with it? Send it to HR at our company. His behavior was inappropriate. He was having a relationship with a coworker while lying to both of us. That's creating a hostile work environment. Will they actually do anything? I don't know, but it'll be on record. And if he tries to do this to someone else at work, there will be documentation. What about his family? I think you should tell them. You were with him longer. You met them. They know you. It'll mean more coming from you. I thought about Marcus's mom. How she tried to talk to me when I dropped off his stuff. How confused she'd looked. Okay, I'll talk to his mom and his friends. We should tell Derek. Derek probably already knows. Marcus tells him everything. Then Derek is complicit. He helped Marcus lie to you. He deserves to face consequences too. He was right. Derek had covered for Marcus countless times. He'd lied directly to my face when I'd asked if Marcus was really staying at his place. Over the next few days, Kayla and I executed our plan. She submitted her complaint to HR, included every screenshot, every email, every piece of evidence showing that Marcus had pursued a relationship with her under false pretenses while endangering both their health. I called Marcus's mom and asked if I could come over. She said yes immediately, probably hoping we'd gotten back together. When I sat down in her living room, she looked so hopeful. It almost made me not want to go through with it, but I did. I told her everything about Kayla, about the cheating, about the S.Td and Marcus blaming me for it. About the lies and the manipulation. She cried. Actually cried. Her hands shook as she held the screenshots I'd printed out. I don't understand, she said. I raised him better than this. How could he do this? I don't know, Mrs. Patterson. But I thought you deserved to know the truth. Does his father know? Not unless you tell him. She looked at the papers in her hands, at the evidence of her son's betrayal laid out in black and white. Thank you for telling me. I'm so sorry, Morgan. I'm so sorry he put you through this. It's not your fault. I feel like it is, like I failed somewhere as a parent. You didn't fail. Marcus made his own choices. I left feeling weird, like I just blown up someone's entire perception of their child. But she needed to know. They all needed to know. Next was Derek. I didn't want to confront him in person, so I sent him a long message on Facebook. Told him everything. Told him I knew he'd been covering for Marcus, that he'd lied to me repeatedly. His response came 3 hours later. I'm sorry. Marcus is my best friend. I felt like I had to have his back. Even when he was hurting people. I thought it was complicated, that there were two sides to the story. There weren't two sides. There was the truth and there were Marcus lies. You're right. I should have said something. I should have told you. I'm sorry. It wasn't enough, but it was something. The real explosion came at Marcus' work. Kayla called me 2 weeks after. She'd submitted her HR complaint. They fired him. She said, well, technically he resigned, but they gave him the option to resign or be terminated for violating company policy. What policy? Fraternization, harassment, creating a hostile work environment. The fact that he pursued a relationship with me while lying about his relationship status constituted deception that could open the company up to liability. Well, yeah, he's furious. He's been texting me nonstop saying I ruined his career. That I'm going to regret this. Have you reported the texts to the police? I don't think they do anything. Save them anyway, just in case. I am. Trust me, I'm documenting everything. Marcus tried to reach out to me again after he lost his job. Left voicemails saying this was all my fault. That I'd turned Kayla against him. That I was vindictive and cruel. I blocked his number, blocked him on every social media platform, changed my locks even though he'd given back his key. Installed a security camera by my front door. Rachel said I was being paranoid, but I didn't care. I'd rather be safe than sorry. A month went by, then things started feeling normal again, or at least a new version of normal. I went on a few dates, nothing serious, just trying to remember what it felt like to be single and not constantly looking over my shoulder. Kayla and I stayed in touch, not as friends exactly, but as people who'd been through something traumatic together. We'd message each other every few weeks, check in, make sure Marcus hadn't tried anything. I'm seeing someone, she told me one day. Nothing serious, but he seems nice. Honest. That's great. What about you? Still figuring things out. I'm not ready for anything serious. Yeah, that's fair. Take your time. It was strange. Under different circumstances, Kayla and I might have actually been friends. We had similar interests, similar senses of humor, but our entire connection was built on shared trauma, on being victims of the same person's lies. Then 3 months after everything fell apart, I got a message from a number I didn't recognize. Hi, my name is Amanda. I know this is random, but are you the Morgan who dated Marcus Patterson? My stomach dropped. Yes. Why? I've been seeing him for the past few weeks. He told me he was single, but I saw your name in his phone and got suspicious. I found some old messages between you two that he hadn't deleted. I just wanted to reach out and ask, is he lying to me? Oh no. How did you meet him? Dating app. We matched about a month ago. He seemed great, really sweet and attentive, but I've noticed some red flags. He's very secretive about his phone. Gets defensive when I ask questions about his past. Amanda, I'm sorry to tell you this, but yes, he's lying to you. We dated for 4 years. We broke up 3 months ago after I found out he'd been cheating on me with a coworker for 2 years. Oh my god, there's more. He gave me an STD and tried to blame me for it. He's manipulative, dishonest. Please be careful. I need to end this right now. Do you want me to send you proof, screenshots, anything? Yes, please. I want to make sure I'm not crazy. I sent her everything. The same evidence I'd shown his mother, the timeline Kayla had compiled. Thank you, Amanda wrote back. I'm meeting him in an hour. I'm going to confront him with all of this. Be safe. Don't meet him alone. I'll be in a public place, but thank you for warning me. I immediately called Kayla. He's doing it again. He found someone new and he's lying to her. Are you serious? Her name is Amanda. She just messaged me. I gave her all the evidence. That man is actually insane. He hasn't learned anything. He thinks he can just keep doing this. Moving from one woman to the next. We need to do something more permanent. Something that warns other women before they get involved with him. Like what? I don't know, but there has to be a way. We brainstormed for hours. Every idea seemed either too illegal or not effective enough. We couldn't exactly take out a billboard warning people about Marcus. We couldn't post on social media without it looking like we were just bitter exes. Then Kayla had an idea. What if we created a website like a database? Nothing defamatory, just facts, a timeline of what happened with sources and evidence. Would that even be legal? As long as it's all true and we can back it up with evidence. Yes, truth is an absolute defense against defamation. But who would even see it? Anyone who searches his name, we optimize it for search engines. Make sure it shows up when someone Googles him. It was genius. Evil genius maybe, but genius. We spent 2 weeks building the website. Nothing fancy, just a simple page with a clean layout. At the top, a disclaimer. This website exists to share factual information about Marcus Patterson, supported by documented evidence. All claims can be verified with provided screenshots and documentation. Then we laid it out. The timeline, the lies, the cheating, the STD, his firing from his job, everything with proof for every single claim. We didn't editorialize, didn't call him names, just presented the facts and let them speak for themselves. At the bottom we added, if you are involved with this person and would like to share your experience, please contact us. We launched the site, shared it with Amanda, shared it with a few mutual acquaintances who we knew would spread it around. Within a week Marcus found out. He called me from a new number I hadn't blocked yet. I made the mistake of answering. You need to take that website down immediately, he said. No greeting, no pleasantries. Why? Everything on there is true. It's defamation. I'm going to sue you. Sue me for telling the truth. Go ahead. I have evidence for every single claim. Do you really want all of this to come out in court? You're ruining my life. You ruined your own life. I'm just making sure other people don't get hurt the way I did. This is harassment. No, this is consequences. Something you're apparently not familiar with. He hung up. I blocked the new number. 2 days later I got a cease and desist letter from a lawyer. It was full of legal jargon and threats about defamation lawsuits. Kayla got one. We consulted with a lawyer of our own. She reviewed the website and all our documentation. This is completely legal, she said. Everything you've posted is factually accurate and you have evidence to support it. He has no case for defamation. This letter is just meant to scare you so we don't have to take it down. Not unless he can prove something on there is false, which he can't because it's not. We sent a response through our lawyer. Basically told Marcus' lawyer to back off or we'd countersue for harassment. We never heard from them again. The website stayed up and over the next few months something unexpected happened. Other women started reaching out. First, it was Amanda who wrote a detailed account of her brief relationship with Marcus and his patterns of lying. Then it was someone named Jennifer who'd dated him in college. She'd always suspected he was cheating but could never prove it. Our timeline filled in gaps she'd been questioning for years. Then another woman and another. Turns out Marcus had been doing this for a long time, much longer than just me and Kayla. He had a pattern. Would date someone seriously while pursuing someone else on the side, would gaslight them when they questioned him, would move on seamlessly when he got caught. We added a section to the website. Other accounts, every woman who agreed to share their story got a spot. Some used their real names, some used pseudonyms, but the pattern was undeniable. Marcus tried to date a few more times, but every time someone Googled his name our website came up. First result. With documentation and accounts from multiple women spanning over a decade, he ended up moving, left the state entirely. His social media went dark. His friends stopped posting pictures with him. We'd effectively made it impossible for him to deceive anyone else without them finding out who he really was. A year later, Kayla called me out of the blue. "I got engaged," she said. "What? To?" "His name is Chris. We met at a friend's wedding. He's nothing like Marcus. He's honest, kind, boring in the best way possible. I'm so happy for you. Thank you. And Morgan, thank you for reaching out to me that day. Thank you for not letting Marcus get away with it. Thank you for believing me, for not just taking his side. We saved each other." In a weird way, she was right. If I hadn't reached out to her, she might still be with Marcus. She might have married Brandon while carrying the guilt of her affair, and Marcus would have just kept moving on to the next person. Instead, we'd created something that would follow him. Not out of spite or revenge, but out of a genuine desire to protect other women from going through what we went through. I still check the website sometimes. It's still up. Still the first result when you search his name. Last month we got another message. Another woman thanking us for the warning. She'd gone on 2 dates with Marcus before Googling him. Said she'd been charmed by him until she saw the website. "You probably saved me months or years of heartache," she wrote. "Thank you for being brave enough to share your truth." That's the thing about consequences. Sometimes they don't happen right away. Sometimes they're not dramatic or explosive. Sometimes they're just quiet and persistent. A permanent record that follows someone around. A warning sign for anyone smart enough to look. Marcus gave me an STD and tried to make me think I was the one who'd betrayed him. He played with my reality, made me question my own sanity, but in the end the truth came out. It always does, and now it's out there for everyone to see forever. I'm not bitter anymore. I don't spend my nights thinking about revenge or wishing harm on him. I've moved on, started dating again, met someone who treats me with respect and honesty. But I'm also not sorry for what Kayla and I did. We didn't spread lies. We didn't make anything up. We just made sure the truth was accessible. Made sure that anyone who wanted to know who Marcus really was could find out. Some people might call that petty. I call it protective. And if Marcus is out there reading this, good. I hope it bothers him. I hope every time he tries to start something new with someone they find our website. I hope he has to live with the consequences of his actions for the rest of his life, because that's what happens when you hurt people. Eventually the truth catches up with you. And in the age of the internet, it never really goes.